Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Maurice Parker. Welcome to the Maurice Parker channel. We talk about sports and more. And in this video today, I just wanted to say thank each and every one of you. Thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We have officially reached over 19,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing. Thank you guys for supporting this channel and helping it grow and develop. I just couldn't have done it without you guys so much. As we kick off to this upcoming week of the NFL Week 10. We're gonna go over the games, go over the games previously that happened and take place. The first game we're gonna talk about was between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts that happened last Sunday, in which the Steelers won 27-20. The things that stood out in this game was Pittsburgh's defense against a top-ranked Indianapolis Colts team that was 7-1 going into this game. They had the best record in the NFL with Jonathan Taylor and Daniel Jones. Early on, the Colts had was winning on fourth down. They had got a touchdown through the receiver, I believe, to the receiver. Daniel Jones threw a touchdown. The ensuing play, there was a muff punt, which was recovered. The takeaway of this game was the Steelers defense had six turnovers, caused six turnovers in this game. The first time since 2010 that they caused six turnovers. Daniel Jones looked underneath the rest. The Steelers defense looked like they were supposed to look all year. They came back to life after the last 2 weeks, giving up a lot of points. It was good to see Aaron Rodgers even doing two touchdowns. Jalen Warren had ran two touchdowns in. Overall, the key takeaways of the game was the fact that the Steelers actually played complementary football against a very good Indianapolis team, which they had to carry over into Sunday night against the Los Angeles Chargers, who are currently 6-2. For Indianapolis, this game dropped them down to 7-2, where they play against the Atlanta Falcons. This was a game they probably did not expect to lose, but I think more so in the fashion they did. Daniel Jones has been phenomenal all year. So has Jonathan Taylor. It just came down to the fact that there was just off one of those games. They was off at the end. It didn't really. It seemed closer than what it really was. But you got to bounce back next week into next week of football. That's what I'll say about that. The game last week, or the game of the week last week, was between the Chicago Bears and the Cincinnati Bengals, and this was a high thrilling game. Um, First thinking that Joe Flacco throwing over 470 yards, touchdowns galore, with Jamar Chase and Chase Brown and T. Higgins. They get an onside kick. They was down. They get an onside kick. They end up scoring a touchdown. Next thing you know, Caleb, it was like 59 seconds left. Now it was 41 Bengals. And next thing you know, Caleb Williams throws a laser to Levin time, Corey Levin time. And he, instead of going down, he gets hit. He could stop at the 40-yard line, but he runs all the way in for a touchdown. And the Bengals end up losing this game despite scoring 43 points. I think this was a game for the Bears for them to look at for the future. And unfortunately, after the game, Chase Brown's, basically called out his defense. I think in that moment, as somebody who has covered the game, the defense knows what they have to do. Your teammates, you should not throw your teammates underneath the bus publicly. We've seen the game, but you guys got to remember, y'all are a team. Y'all win together and y'all lose together as a team. I think the only reason I say that is in the Pittsburgh, when the defense was not playing well, I didn't see their teammates call them out on them and not playing well, because you got to keep that unity, because this is the same guys that's going to be the line of fire with you down the line. And, just be careful, mindful of the words you say. I get the frustration, I get all that, but just be mindful. But I know in the heat of the moment is mindful. I'm pretty sure that he probably had apologized to the players and stuff like that. You just got to keep it moving. For the Bears, this is a great win for you guys, to keep it going. The Buffalo Bills beating the Kansas City Chiefs 27-20, actually, right, 28-21. This game was the tenth time that Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen have met. As the record suggested, Josh Allen has never beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, whereas Patrick Mahomes has only beaten Josh Allen in the regular season. This game came down to the fact that there was turnovers caused by the Buffalo Bills, in which they made uh, Kansas City Mahomes feel uncomfortable. He was pressured 9 times. He was sacked. He was hit under duress. And as great as a quarterback he is, was keeping it alive. The run game was not really being there for them. The fact that Josh Allen still performed at a high level with his team through touchdowns, running. It was a crazy game back and forth at the end. Just What makes this game different, I think, for a lot of people is the fact that these are considered two of the top quarterbacks in the league going at each other. And usually people say, "Oh, I've seen this story before. Buffalo wins, and they end up losing to the Chiefs in the playoffs too because past history." But you never know. Every year brings its own challenge because for a long time, I was making this comparison real quick. Peyton Manning, for as great as he was against Tom Brady in the regular season, did not beat him to the playoffs until later on in his career, and he started clicking. And then from that point on, he never lost to Manning Brady again at any time to play. So you never know how stories turn out. It could go from one way to another way. So, every season is different. Every season brings its own test. Just trying to get new narratives in there because last year's story should not go into this year's story. I know for historical facts I had this proved up, but that was those both those players of Brady and Manning's career is over, which Mahomes and Allen's career is not. So you never know what can happen on that. I just say stay positive on that one because to be fair, everybody's story still being reading in the NFL. Uh, just my motivation and positivity. The game of the night was between the Sunday night game was between the sorry Sunday night's football game was between Washington Commanders and Seattle Seahawks, in which Seattle just destroyed Washington. To be honest with you, I mean Sam Darnold was going on Smith and Jegma, Horton, Charbonnet. The sad thing of the game was that unfortunately late in the fourth quarter, where the game was 38-7, as the Washington Commanders are doing a read option. Jay Daniel gets tackled. His elbow bends the wrong way. It was a horrific sight. Dan Quinn later acknowledged that he made a mistake by keeping him in there because usually at that point you see them coaches typically take their starters out. Daniel Jones ended up getting hurt. And I know it never was his intention for any player to get hurt on the field and whatnot. I know, sometimes hindsight's always 2020. Just mentioned Jaden Daniels' speedy recovery on that, and for Seattle to continue to win and do that way, I commend the player who tackled him. I cannot remember his name, but he went to check on him afterwards in the hospital, and I thought that was outstanding. Another game before I get into Monday night was the fact that the Panthers actually beat the Green Bay Packers up in Lambeau. I believe it was 16-13. This game was definitely interesting. For the fact is that for a lot of people, Carolina has been up and down, and you could just see that for them to win the game meant a lot in Lambeau because for as great as Green Bay has been all regular season this season, and they have, and Jordan Love is a one outstanding quarterback on the rise. Uh, Sometimes you have those games. Just sometimes there's teams play you tough, and sometimes you get in tough battles. But you guys got to promote for next week. We're gonna get to the Monday night game. In this Monday night game, there was news afterwards that which I will talk about, but it was between the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys, in which the Arizona Cardinals won 27-17. And in this game, you had the Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett actually looking legitimate. Marvin Harrison Jr. those two touchdowns. Their defense, the Cardinals defense was creating havoc. Although they did get a block punt for a touchdown, the Cowboys did and recovered it for a touchdown. It was just a lot to handle with Dak Prescott, and was just didn't seem like there was an efficient. Fun fact about this game: it, the Cardinals in their history was always 3-13 on Monday night, but all three of their wins came ironically against the Dallas Cowboys. I think right now Arizona has to make a choice if they're going to keep Jacoby Brissett or Kyler Murray, who was injured, but I think they're probably going to stick with Jacoby Brissett. Not to say that Kyler Murray is not a good quarterback, but I think at the time the team probably is going to go with Jacoby Brissett because they was playing more efficiently. Oh, Trey McBride did a good job. Um, I would be remiss not to tell my fans and tell you guys about the sad news about Marshawn Freley, who unfortunately passed away due to suicide on Thursday. He was the guy on Monday night who, when they blocked the punt, he had recovered it for a touchdown at the age of 24. He was going through a lot of mental stuff that we as people did not know about. His girlfriend had called a wellness check on him, and he was, police were trying to chase him down to stop him. He ends up eluding the police, and she tells the police he has a firearm. He said he's going to end it all. He texts on his family group chat goodbye. He ends up going to the porta party, and unfortunately, he decides to go a different way, and they find him. this was devastating news for his family, for his loved ones, for his teammates. Even for me to report it, it's just so sad to see that somebody passes away like that because people think that just because you get money and fame and fortune, that doesn't take away. People are still humans at the end of the day. We never know what battle somebody is going through. It is unfortunate that that happened, and I'm pretty sure he loved his family. I know he loved his family and his loved ones and stuff, but sometimes, things in life like that happen. Unfortunately, we could try our best, and sometimes everybody has free will. You can't always predict what can happen to his girlfriend and all that. You did the right thing. You tried to call, you tried to do your best, but when somebody's mind is made up, let's remember for the man that he was his career might be over, but what for those who loved him and those who cared about him, he's gonna live on through the people. He's not gonna be forgotten. Uh, you know, to his family, I would say, just pray, agree with you. I am so sorry and devastated for the loss that he has departed from this world and he has transcended to another world. I believe that he's at peace, but I understand that it's not going to be the same, and it's going to take time to come to the grips out of it. And it's okay not to be the same. It's okay to heal. It's okay, to mourn and stuff like that. It is okay. I'm going to let each and every one of y'all know like that. There is no roadmap to this, and I want each of you to know that, and family ones, loved ones, teammates, want everybody know this, that life is precious. If you have anything going on in your life, please talk to someone. Please try to seek help. Please try to communicate and try to take steps to help, because sometimes one of the things that helps is if we talk about these things instead of keeping them to ourselves, because there's battles once again that we all go through that people may not be aware of. But you never want nobody to feel like they're alone in the battle by themselves if you can help it. And know that you did the best you could, that you honor people every day you live. Every day you live is an honor and blessing. And I believe he is going to be tributed not only for the Thursday game that passed, but for all upcoming games that's coming up. And then it's okay to take time to mourn, to grieve, to the process. It's take as much time you need to mourn and grieve to the process. He's a great man, and although he's not here physically no more, spiritually, I believe he is. And that was my message of positivity, upliftment to any of every one of you. Now, this is Maurice Parker from the Maurice Parker channel. I thank you for your time, and I'll be back in the next video.